say that.
Yep.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. We'll call to order the Village of Ashwaubenon Public Works and Protection Committee for Tuesday, January 2nd, 2018. Roll call, please.
Mike Malczewski,
Here.
Mark Williams.
Here.
Kim Bukowski.
Here.
Josh Cohenhorst.
Here.
And Joanne Euclid. Here.
Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
Move
So-
to approve.
Okay,
Second.
We have motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Action on the minutes from the December 5th, 2017 meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have motion and a second to approve the December 5th, 2017 minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Comments from the public. Do we have any members of the general public here tonight? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to action items. 7A, action on Class B beer, Class C wine licenses for Duval Properties LLC, doing business as Press Start Rec Room. Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members, good evening, Happy New Year. As noted in the green sheet, the agenda sheet, Wayne and Michelle Duval are in the process of closing their longtime business, Future Fitness Plus, on Vanderparen Way, and they have come up with a interesting business concept, which would require, they're requesting, a Class B beer, Class C wine license as far as for what's before you this evening. Mr. Duval is here. I'll ask him to step forward if you have any questions for him. And he can further explain the uniqueness of the request.
Okay, that'll be fine. State your name and address, please.
My name is Wayne Duval, 830 Vanderparen.
Okay, enlighten us.
I've been a business owner here in Ashwaubenon since 2004, Future Fitness Plus. We sold home leisure products, hot tub, pool table.
Patrick, you want to put on his mic? I thought
It was working before.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. Go ahead.
I'll speak a little loud. There we go. Yeah, I owned
There.
Future Fitness Plus in Ashwaubenon here since 2004. I've actually owned the business since 1996. Started out on the east side of Green Bay. And I built a building on Vanderparen in 2004. And we sell hot tubs, pool tables, fitness equipment, outdoor furniture, grills, saunas, everything for the home leisure product. And this year, my wife and I decided that it's more of a young man's game. Amazon's really taken over. It's hard to, with all the overhead, it was hard to stay in business, so we decided to close that business. And in the meantime, we came up with a concept, and it's around the United States, in the big cities, it's called a rec room, where they have living rooms where up to 12 people can sit in a living room. They rent the living room, and they can play Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation 4. Excuse me. It's $10 an hour. If you got 10 people together, it comes out to $1 an hour for each person. But they can sit there and play against themselves or Wi-Fi. And then there's arcade games, the old Donkey Kong, Centipede, Miss Pac-Man, ping pong, air hockey, bubble hockey. It's and we have, of course, food, and then we're hoping to have some drink also. It's quite successful around the country. There's nothing like it here. The closest one here is in Kenosha. Nothing north of Kenosha. And I thought maybe, it's a gathering place. We're gonna have Friday and Saturday will be, after 6 will be for 21 and over, but the rest of the days, everybody can come in and be like a Happy Joe's Pizza situation. So families are encouraged to come also, but Friday and Saturday nights after 6 would be for adults only. I guess I'm open for any questions.
So you have someone in charge of selling the beer and wine.
I would be.
You can't be there all the time.
No,
If it's not you, you'll have someone there though.
exactly, yes. My wife, and then we also have a friend that is going to be taking part.
Chief, you see anything, you got any comment on this one? It's kind of an I mean, it's an interesting thought. It's just, I wonder if you have some
Yeah.
take on it.
The concept is, I mean, when you look at it, the entertainment venue is much like a bowling alley. I know we have another entertainment venue on the agenda tonight, but in the course of any business is how you conduct it and how you treat your employees. So, and the clerk, I think with the food, with the element of food in there, is a balance of youth being allowed in there in the premise.
So from your perspective, you don't have any major worries at this point? Anyway.
No.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Pat, just a question, I guess. On the list of stuff that they have for, on their menu, beer and wine, does all your Seagrams and Smirnoff and all that stuff fall underneath that? Or is that more of a hard liquor or?
I believe that falls under the beer and wine license.
Correct.
All the stuff that's listed on there?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't want it to be an alcohol crazy, venue. It's just more people gathering, getting to play, socialize with each other. I hear so many times from young people, there is nothing to do.
You would do this in the building you're in now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, and I own the building, so, but we also, on Sundays would be family day. There would be no alcohol. It would be, any family can come in and play arcade games, ping pong, pool, air hockey, bubble hockey. They can eat and drink. We're also going to have free tables where you can play Jenga, Monopoly. So if you and I, there's nobody at home to play Monopoly, we can come in and you meet some new friends and, get to play Monopoly. It's, people just love to socialize. But at some points it's hard. When you go into a regular bar, you just sit there basically. You sit there and drink, maybe dance, and that's it. There's nothing, and then everybody wants to drink. That's what they want to do. But here, I don't want that concept. I don't want everybody drinking because that's all there is to do. But I want it available for the people that do want a beer or two.
Just for the committee's indulgence, the pictorials, this is from an establishment in Memphis, Tennessee. I don't know if that's where you got the idea originally or not, but just as a point of order, kind of what the concept would look like.
I actually got the idea from Philadelphia, but all the big cities are going to this concept. Ashwaubenon's not Philadelphia, but it's Ashwaubenon, and I'd like to be the pioneer to do it here.
There's one where we just came through the last meeting that, up on Packerland, that's very similar, so just so you know.
I'm sorry?
Very similar to this is up on Packerland that we just approved last week, or last meeting.
No alcohol, though,
That wasn't alcohol on that one?
for those two gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no alcohol.
Well, I'll move to approve the request for a Class B beer, Class C wine license for Duval Properties LLC doing business as Press Start Rec Room as requested in item 7A.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the request. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No. We have
I vote aye.
two to two? 2 to 3. So motion passes.
Mhm.
Okay, that'll be moved to the
See you
village
23rd.
board.
Very good.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
luck, good luck.
Next item is action item 7B, action on Class B beer license for Marcus Cinemas of Wisconsin LLC, doing business as Bay Park Cinema.
This is the item that was before the committee last month. You had requested some additional information, and which is included in your packet for some of those questions. Again, Bay Park Square is looking to serve, seeking a Class B beer license as an additional concession at Bay Park Square Theaters. Mr. Rob Novak, Vice President of Concessions of Marcus Theaters, is here, and I would invite him up if you have any questions for Mr. Novak.
This is from you, obviously?
Yeah,
From
that was
architect.
So your beer would be over here?
No, the beer would, excuse me, first off, good evening.
Good evening.
The beer would actually be served through the concession stand.
Oh.
It would only be bottled beer to define what we'd be looking to do. In this case, we would have 6 bottled beers, and actually there'd be aluminum cans, because we don't serve any glass bottles in a movie theater for obvious reasons. And they would be served from the concession stand. There would not be draft beer sold in this instance.
You'd actually sell the aluminum cans?
Correct.
Well, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mark.
Mr. Clerk, got a question here where at first I didn't really have a problem with this, but I want to know what our ordinance is for serving alcohol and having food at the establishment. Don't we have something stated that we have to have restaurant capabilities or serving?
It used to be for Class C wine, but this is strictly Class B beer. Used to be 51% of sales in food. That has changed by state law about 1.5 years ago. Now it's to the discretion of the governing body if they want to okay a Class C wine.
Is this the only place in Ashwaubenon that would serve beer that does not serve food?
Well, let me get my trusty list here. Bear with me. Class B beer, Chuck E. Cheese, Wingstop, Riverway Marina, T-Bacon Barbecue, The Bar, Wingate, Air Host Green Bay Restaurant at the airport. Just Class B beer.
Oh, your name, Novak, is it Novak?
Novak, N-O-V-A-K.
Mr. Novak, I want to be real candid with you. This gives me trouble. It just does. From the time it came in here, and I guess the reason it does, the gentleman who was just up before you, to me, that's a different concept. This one, you know, I'm used to going to movies and seeing, and especially today. My wife and I were out in California for Christmas, and we took our granddaughter to a movie, and the 5 previews were all animated
Absolutely.
shows. So what comes to my mind is kids, little kids, going to those movies, and I just have a problem with little kids and dad or mom taking them into the movie theater with 1 or 2 cans of beer. Not your fault. It's not your fault at all. I just that image in my mind, I have trouble getting it out.
I completely, if you let me, I can speak candidly on it. We at the Marcus Corporation take the sale of alcohol very seriously. At this point, we have 69 movie theaters throughout the Midwest, and we have 40 of them that we serve alcoholic beverages in some nature. If you go to a number of theaters throughout the state of Wisconsin, Madison, Milwaukee, we have full bars in some establishments. This is something that we've responded to out of what the guests have come to us. I mean, no different when the clerk mentioned the first business that has a Class B liquor license is Chuck E. Cheese. And there's no more family-orientated thing than Chuck E. Cheese. You would never find an adult who would go to Chuck E. Cheese on their own. I'm being truthful in that. I mean, I'm someone who has,
Right.
I have 3 little children. I have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And I completely understand what you're saying. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I go out with my kids, sir, I don't necessarily order. I was just out to dinner on New Year's Eve, and my wife and I kind of have this weird perception we don't want if one of us would be. But I'll say this, as a nature, the consumer has pushed our industry into this direction, but we have an amazing amount of restrictions in what we do. So as I go through those, I can explain. We have a 1 car or 1 ID per person, 1 drink per person. So if you were to approach the concession stand and you wanted 2 beers, 1 for yourself and 1 for your wife, we wouldn't sell them to you. We'd make your wife come out. She'd have to show her ID, regardless of how old she is or young she is. We require everyone to show an ID. We participate in a program called the BARS program, B-A-R-S, you can look it up. It's a carding program that's done independently, which we pay for, which our facilities are audited. So what can happen randomly once a month, unbeknownst to the manager and the staff of that theater, they'll walk up and they'll approach the concession stand, no different than the police would, and they will attempt to buy a drink. If the proper procedure of carding is not taken place, that associate is handed a red card. The manager's informed, and we actually terminate all of those associates because we've set a standard for Marcus Theaters. Because again, we understand what comes with selling liquor. And in this case, all we're looking to do is sell bottled beer. The other thing, we look at it differently. People sometimes look, and obviously you guys have a great knowledge of this with Lambeau Field being there. It's, people are like, oh, people are going to be drinking. The nature of a movie doesn't lend itself to the type of indulgence that you'd have at a football game. There's no TV timeouts. There's no halftime. There's no people going into an auditorium trying to sell beer. All the beer is sold directly at the concession stand, or if we have a bar, it's sold at the bar. People aren't going out getting 3-4 beers at a time because you don't want to use the restroom. The movie never stops. So if you walk in there and you're like, you know what, I prefer having a Miller Lite with my entertainment tonight, and you're with your wife, we have that option. It's an option we just added. I mean, just so everyone is aware, last month we started selling at our Green Bay East Theater. And we came before the board, no different than this, and I explained the case the same way. And as I was sharing with the clerk, we've done this and gone through it in different cities in America. Cape Girardeau, Missouri, we just opened up a full bar establishment there. And there were similar questions from the community, questions from the board. And no, we don't want to ever denigrate the family movie-going experience that there is. I mean, we foster the family movie-going experience. We have family events at our theaters, such as our Kids Dream series, which we bring kids in Saturday morning at 10 a.m. to watch movies at a discounted rate. Again, it's just an option. In no way, shape, or form are we looking for people to become inebriated in the movie theater. And we put all of our folks that are of age to sell liquor. Again, you couldn't have a 16-year-old not going to be able to sell liquor. We know what the law is, and in that case, they have to call somebody of age to serve and to execute that transaction. And everybody who has to do that has to go through server training who's of age to do this. Again, it's something that is, movie theaters essentially today don't open up without beer and wine or some form of alcohol, just because that's where the nature of the business has taken us. But again, we want to protect that family movie-going environment. We never want people to become rowdy or disruptive to families, and we never want to make it an uncomfortable environment that you can't bring your grandchildren, parents can't bring their kids to the movie theater. And we found it hasn't been that case. It's just been another option for our consumers in order for us to stay relevant in the marketplace. That's why we added in Green Bay. Theaters in Appleton sell it. Our theaters in Oshkosh sell it. We just added in Saukville, Sheboygan. All of our theaters have moved to some degree to have these offerings, but again, highly policed internally because we understand what comes with it. There's great responsibility with having a liquor license. It's not something we take lightly.
Have you got a % of gross sales for your liquor sales as an average across all of your facilities?
Oh, it's quite minuscule. When you're asking for total sales in terms of revenue or food and beverage when we consider concessions, like
just liquor sales as compared to what percentage it would be of all gross sales?
5% or less. I mean, it's minuscule compared to what we're making in terms of selling popcorn, soda, traditional food service, even excluding the ticket sales. If you look at our business, we're probably running about 65% of our revenue comes from the sale of tickets. 35% of it comes from concessions, and that's just due to the high price of tickets today. When you're spending $10 to get in versus whatever we charge for popcorn. But in between that, when you're just looking at food and beverage, you're in the 5 or 10% range. It's nothing dramatic. It's just, it's an ancillary thing. For an example, we sold in the entire day of Friday last week in Green Bay, I think we sold 30 beers the entire day. 30 beers, and there was probably 2,000 people that walked through the door, 2,500 people. So, I mean, it's not, as I explained to folks when some people, even in our own company, you know, they're like, hey, there's a lot of money to be had in this, and there is good revenue that's had by this, and it's a market differentiator for us. But even amongst adults, if 1 in 10 guests select to buy an alcoholic beverage, that's a good percentage for us in terms of sales. We'd be pleased with that. Of pure just adults, not of total attendance, because the attendance is a mix of children and adults.
Sure. Any other discussion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the Class B beer license for Marcus Cinemas of Wisconsin LLC, DBA Bay Park Cinema.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Well, to get a vote, I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve, as Mark reiterated.
Before we vote, just so you know, you made a good presentation for your client or for your boss. You did a nice job, but I'll vote. I don't know how the vote's going to go tonight, but I'll vote yes. But I'm doing that to move it along to the village board at their January meeting, and I just want you to know, I'm still wavering. If I vote yes tonight, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the way I'm going to vote when it comes before the village board. I just want you to know that, because I don't want to send you on, give you the wrong message. But it's still your explanation helped me get over some humps that I had in my own mind. But I still have to think about it a little bit. So I'm off my soapbox.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Negative?
No.
No. 3-2. Motion carries. This goes to the village board at the next meeting.
And I would welcome, if you guys would like to see, I mean, not telling you to go across town, but if at Green Bay East, I mean, you can actually see the setup would be very similar. Only difference there is the building design, the concession stand straight versus the octagonal vending stand we have here. But more than welcome. Or Appleton has a much more extensive.
Thank you.
That concludes the action items. Do we have any items for the next agenda? If we do, please get a hold of Terry or Mary, village president, so they can be placed there on.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We stand adjourned.
Good job, Mr. President.